Choo Young Woo was rising as one of K-drama's biggest breakout stars, gaining attention for his amazing role in the Trauma Code, Heroes on Call. With his talent and charm, it seemed like he was on the fast track to success. But just as his career was taking off, everything came crashing down when the public uncovered some unsettling truths that changed everything. Young Woo has been working in the industry for years now, slowly making a name for himself, but it wasn't until recently that he became a true breakout star. His first big moment came with The Tale of Lady Ok, a historical drama that completely shifted the trajectory of his career. Unlike his previous roles, this one was bold, challenging, and high stakes. Not only was it his first time stepping into the world of historical dramas, but he was also given the massive task of playing two completely different characters. One minute, he was the noble and reserved Sung Yoon Guillaume, and the next, he transformed into the lively and charismatic Chun Seung Hui, a traveling storyteller who owned every scene he was in. To make sure audiences could feel the contrast, he threw himself into months of intense training. He mastered horseback riding, trained in archery, and studied martial arts to fully embody Yoon Guillaume's character. Then, for his second character, he went in a completely different direction, spending weeks learning traditional Korean singing and dance to make Seung Hui feel authentic. Despite all that effort, he still struggled with the challenging vocal techniques required for traditional singing, but he pushed through, determined to make a lasting impression. Thankfully, all the effort was worth it. The drama became a fan favorite and a major hit. Suddenly, Young Woo was being seen in a new light by critics and viewers alike. But while The Tale of Lady Ok set the stage for his success, it was the Trauma Code, Heroes on Call, that took him from a rising actor to a full-fledged star. This medical thriller was nothing like his previous works. It was intense, emotional, and high energy, filled with action-packed scenes that left viewers on edge. In the drama, he played Yang Jae-won, a kind-hearted but inexperienced fourth-year resident under the guidance of a ruthless and genius trauma surgeon played by Joo Ji-hoon. What made the role even more powerful was the way he portrayed Jae-won's internal struggle. The character had the heart of a hero but was constantly held back by his fears and lack of confidence. When it came to stunts, Young Woo didn't hold back. He wasn't just there to act. He wanted to fully embody his character no matter how demanding the scenes were. This led to him filming a helicopter rescue sequence despite being terrified of heights. Due to his hard work, the drama was a massive global success, and his performance stood out in a way that no one could ignore. The numbers spoke for themselves. It shot to number 2 on Netflix's global TV show chart, surpassing Squid Game Season 2, and took the number 1 spot in 14 countries. He wasn't just a local success anymore. His face was suddenly everywhere, his name was trending, and it seemed like he was finally stepping into the A-list territory. With 2 back-to-back hits under his belt, the industry was his for the taking. He had the talent, the momentum, and the audience on his side. It felt like he was on the fastest track to become a Hallyu star. But just when it seemed like he could do no wrong, one move changed everything. His carefully built reputation, his hard-earned success, and his entire career were suddenly on the verge of collapse, and it all started when people began digging into his past. As people started looking into Young Woo's personal life, the first thing they uncovered was his elite family background, and it quickly became clear that fame runs in his blood. Unlike many rising stars who struggle their way into the spotlight, Young Woo was born into the entertainment industry. His father, Choo Sung-il, was one of Korea's top models in the 1990s, walking alongside legends like Cha Sung-won and setting trends with his towering height and signature long hair. His mother, Kang Sung-jin, was also a model, meaning Young Woo was quite literally born with visuals made for the screen. But despite hitting the genetic jackpot, he didn't initially plan to follow in their footsteps. His path could have actually gone in a completely different direction. In high school, JYP Entertainment scouted him for an idol debut, offering him a shot at becoming a K-pop star. For many, this would have been the ultimate dream, but surprisingly, Young Woo turned it down. While K-pop idols were dominating the world, something about that life didn't feel right to him. Instead, when he sat down for career counseling, he realized that his true passion had been right in front of him all along. Growing up, he was always drawn to impersonations, voice acting, and mimicking others. The more he thought about it, the more it made sense that acting was his true calling. So instead of chasing a K-pop career, he was determined to prove himself in drama school, enrolling at the Korea National University of Arts in 2018. And even then, he wasn't just waiting around for opportunities, he took matters into his own hands. He made an unexpected appearance on MBC's variety show You Quiz on the Block, where he confidently declared that one day he wanted to be known for his name, his acting, and his projects. His parents even relocated from Sejong to Seoul so that Young Woo could pursue his dreams. But even though he was born into a world of fame, he wasn't the type to let privilege get to his head. His father, a living legend in the modeling world, had always told him to stay humble, greet people properly, and never be late, advice that Young Woo seemed to take seriously. As if having two model parents wasn't enough, Young Woo's younger brother, Choo Young Woo, is also making his way into the industry. But instead of competing, the brothers are supporting each other. During the filming of The Tale of Lady Ok, Young Woo faced a unique challenge, playing two completely different characters who had scenes together. To make this possible, the production team needed a body double, someone with a similar build who could step in for certain shots. After struggling to find the right match, the director turned to Young Woo for suggestions, and he casually mentioned that he had a younger brother who also acts. And just like that, Young Woo landed the job. It wasn't just a family favor though. Young Woo took the role extremely seriously, preparing just as intensely as any other actor would. He memorized the lines, movements, and expressions needed to make the scenes seamless, and his dedication didn't go unnoticed. Young Woo later admitted that having his brother on set actually made him more nervous since he wanted to set a good example and prove himself as the older sibling. Young Woo had everything going for him: a rich family legacy, a skyrocketing career, and a clean golden boy image. Fans saw him as polite, hardworking, and different from the rest. But then the internet did what it does best. It dug deep, and what it found shattered that perfect picture of him in an instant. It all started when fans began snooping through his Instagram. At first, it was harmless curiosity because people just wanted to know what kind of content he liked. But when they scrolled through his following list, they were left speechless. Right there in plain sight was Jung Sang-soo, a rapper with a long list of scandals. He wasn't just known for causing trouble, he had been caught up in multiple drunk driving incidents, had run-ins with law enforcement, and was openly connected to a far-right activist group. This group wasn't just about politics, it had a history of controversial views that made fans deeply uncomfortable. At first, people wanted to give Young Woo the benefit of the doubt. It could have just been a mistake since celebrities follow people all the time without thinking much about it. But then things got even worse. As fans looked further, they noticed he was also following streamers from Africa TV, a platform known for over-the-top, inappropriate content. And these weren't just any streamers, they were infamous for posting things that left little to the imagination. Their videos had vulgar titles that made people double take, and the content was way too suggestive for someone trying to maintain a polished image. As soon as the controversy blew up, Young Woo went into damage control mode. Without saying a word, he quietly started unfollowing these accounts, trying to erase the evidence before it spread further. But the internet never forgets, and fans weren't fooled. People who had supported him through the tale of Lady Ok and the trauma code suddenly felt betrayed. Fans called him just another typical gross guy, saying his online activity completely changed the way they saw him. Some even claimed they had lost interest in his dramas altogether. The backlash was so intense, Young Woo had no choice but to speak up. Fans were furious, and ignoring the situation only made things worse. With his name trending for all the wrong reasons, he finally broke his silence, but by then, the damage was already done. In his official apology, Young Woo tried to downplay the situation, saying that his follows weren't intentional and that he simply enjoyed watching short-form content like reels and shorts. He acknowledged that he had made people uncomfortable and admitted that he needed to be more mindful of his actions moving forward. But for many, his response felt weak. As his Instagram following surpassed 1 million followers, he reflected on how his rising fame meant he had to be more careful. He explained that while he may not have meant any harm, he now understood that his personal choices could be misinterpreted by the public. When asked if he felt unfairly criticized by the public about this issue, he said, "It's okay because it's something I just need to handle well. I love acting so much that I can endure these things. It might sound cliche, but I am genuinely working hard to become a good actor, and a good person. It was clear that the overwhelming backlash had made an impact on him, but his words still left a lot of people unsatisfied. Despite the backlash, Young Woo isn't slowing down. He's already filming new projects, hoping to shift the focus back to his work and away from the controversy. But in an industry where public image is everything, scandals like this don't just disappear overnight. Whether he'll be able to fully recover his reputation or if this will be a permanent stain on his rising career is something only time will tell.